You work hard. You're not lazy. You show up every day, put in the hours, follow the rules. You watch other people, sometimes people less qualified, less educated, less experienced than you, build wealth, start businesses, climb ladders, make opportunities appear out of thin air. And you're still struggling, still living paycheck to paycheck. Still one emergency away from financial disaster. And the worst part? You can't figure out why. You tell yourself you're just unlucky, that you weren't born into the right family, didn't get the right breaks, don't have the right connections. And maybe some of that is true. But there's something else happening, something invisible, something inside your own mind that's working against you every single day, sabotaging opportunities before you even recognize them as opportunities. This isn't about motivation. It's not about working harder or wanting it more. This is about the psychological programming that was installed in your brain before you were old enough to question it. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what that programming is, where it came from, and most importantly, how to reprogram it. Because the difference between people who build wealth and people who stay broke isn't intelligence, talent, or luck. It's psychology. And psychology can be changed. Before we dive deep into applied psychology, subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments where you're from. Develope Martinez was 29 years old when she finally asked herself the question that changed everything. Why am I so afraid of money? She had a decent job as a graphic designer, made $45,000 a year. Not rich, not poor. But she'd been at the same salary for 4 years, had never asked for a raise, had turned down 3 freelance opportunities that could have doubled her income because they seemed too complicated or she didn't feel ready. She had $17,000 in credit card debt from purchases she couldn't even remember making. Her savings account had $83. She was 29 years old and had less financial security than she'd had at 22. One night, after declining another freelance project and then spending $200 on clothes she didn't need, she sat on her apartment floor and forced herself to be honest. I'm sabotaging myself. But why? The answer, she discovered in therapy 3 months later, was simple and devastating. She had internalized the belief that money was dangerous. Dr. Brad Klontz, financial psychologist and researcher at Creighton University, has spent decades studying what he calls money scripts, unconscious beliefs about money formed in childhood that dictate adult financial behavior. In his research with over 20,000 subjects, he identified that most people who struggle financially carry one or more of 4 destructive money scripts. Script 1, money is bad, often installed by parents who associated wealth with greed, corruption, or moral failure. The child grows up believing that having money makes you a bad person, so unconsciously, they sabotage any attempt to accumulate it. Script 2, I don't deserve money, usually formed in childhood experiences of deprivation, criticism, or shame. The adult believes on some deep level that they're fundamentally unworthy of financial success. Script 3, money will corrupt me. The fear that having money will change who you are, make you selfish, distance you from loved ones, or turn you into someone you don't want to be. Script 4, there's never enough. A scarcity mindset so deep that no matter how much money you make, you'll always feel poor, always feel anxious, always feel like it's about to disappear. Jennifer had scripts 1 and 3 running simultaneously. Her father had been a factory worker who constantly complained about rich people and their moral bankruptcy. Her mother had warned her that money changes people whenever they saw wealthy neighbors. The message was clear: good people don't pursue wealth. If you become wealthy, you become bad. So Jennifer's unconscious mind protected her from becoming bad. Every time an opportunity appeared to increase her income, her brain triggered anxiety, self-doubt, or convenient excuses, not because she was lazy, but because her psychological programming viewed financial success as a threat to her identity as a good person. Dr. Thomas Stanley, who spent decades researching millionaires for his book The Millionaire Next Door, found that the majority of wealthy people didn't inherit their money or get lucky. They shared specific psychological traits: delayed gratification, emotional detachment from spending, and, most importantly, absence of shame or fear around money. People who stay poor often have the opposite: immediate gratification seeking, emotional spending, and deep shame or fear about money. Not because they're morally inferior, but because their money scripts are different. Jennifer's breakthrough came when her therapist asked, "What would happen if you made $100,000 next year?" Jennifer's immediate response, "I'd probably turn into an asshole." Why? Because that's what money does to people. Does it? Or is that what you were taught to believe? That question cracked something open. Jennifer started examining where her beliefs came from. Her father's resentment wasn't about rich people, it was about his own feeling of powerlessness. Her mother's warnings weren't about money, they were about her own fear of change. These weren't universal truths, they were just beliefs. And beliefs can be questioned. Jennifer started small. She asked for a $5,000 raise at her next performance review. Her boss, surprised she'd never asked before, agreed immediately. That $5,000 proved something crucial. Pursuing money didn't make her a bad person. Nothing changed except her bank account. She took on a freelance project, then another. Within 6 months, she was making an additional $20,000 a year. She paid off her credit card debt, built a savings account, and something unexpected happened. She became more generous, not less, more able to help friends, donate to causes, support local businesses. The money script had been wrong. Money didn't corrupt her. It freed her. But Jennifer's story reveals something deeper. Most people who struggle financially aren't failing because they lack opportunity or skill. They're failing because their psychological relationship with money is broken at the foundational level. Dr. Clance's research found that people with destructive money scripts engage in specific self-sabotaging behaviors, often without conscious awareness. They undercharge for their work. They don't negotiate. They make impulsive purchases to soothe emotional discomfort. They avoid looking at bank statements or budgets because money creates anxiety. They stay in underpaying jobs because asking for more feels wrong. And perhaps most damaging, they associate with other people who have the same broken money scripts, creating echo chambers where financial struggle is normalized and financial success is viewed with suspicion. The solution isn't motivation or financial literacy courses, though those can help. The solution is psychological rewiring. Identifying your money scripts, understanding where they came from, questioning whether they're actually true, and consciously choosing new beliefs. This is what Jennifer did. She wrote down every negative belief she had about money, then beside each one, wrote evidence that contradicted it. Rich people are greedy. Beside it, she listed wealthy people who were generous philanthropists. Money will change me. Beside it, she wrote, I control my values, not my bank account. She started following people who had healthy relationships with money. Not flashy Instagram wealth, but real people building sustainable financial security while remaining grounded, generous, and authentic. She practiced saying out loud, I deserve financial abundance. The first 100 times, it felt fake. But neuroplasticity is real. Repeat something enough and the brain starts believing it. 1 year after her breakthrough, Jennifer's income had increased by 68%. 2 years later, she'd started her own design agency. 3 years later, she had multiple employees and was financially comfortable for the first time in her life. She didn't change who she was. She changed what she believed she deserved, and everything else followed. The human brain is programmable. The money scripts installed in childhood aren't permanent code. They're software that can be updated, rewritten, replaced. But first, you have to recognize that the software is running. You have to see the invisible beliefs controlling your financial behavior. Because the tragedy isn't that some people are born into wealth and others aren't. The tragedy is that people with the ability to build wealth sabotage themselves with beliefs they didn't choose and never questioned. You're not bad with money. You're not financially cursed. You're not destined to struggle. You're just running corrupted software. And corrupted software can be debugged. The question isn't whether you can make money. The question is, what beliefs are you holding that prevent you from allowing yourself to make money? Find those beliefs, question them, replace them, and watch what happens when your psychology finally stops fighting against your success. And that's the end of our experience. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It's very important for us to know the truth. Be honest in the comments, leaving creative suggestions so we can improve the quality of our content more and more. Comment where you're from. Check out the video on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. See you in a few seconds. We are Applied Psychology, and this is our contribution. Subscribe.